Chapter 12. Sharmelle arrived back at St. Simon Investigations in time to find Jacqueline waiting patiently for her in the conference room. "Well, aren't we eager?" Sharmelle said with a laugh. "I'll admit it, I'm really intrigued by this one. I mean, all of our cases are interesting, but I am so curious about looking for someone from the late 50s, early 60s, and right now all you have is a name." Sharmelle trusted Jacqueline. She had proven herself trustworthy over the last 3 years she served as Sharmelle's receptionist, researcher, sometimes personal assistant, keeper of the calendar, and just as important, keeper of the secrets. So she sat down across from her and told her the rest of the story with details. "All right, Jay, I'm going to give you as many details as I can right now, but this one involves a very high-profile member of the community, someone that you know, someone close to me, someone I consider a friend." Over the next half hour, Sharmelle told the story again, this time with more details. She could see the confusion on Jacqueline's face as she told her the rest of the story with those details, all about the unplanned pregnancy, never telling the father, marrying another man, and raising the baby as his own. Jacqueline didn't wait for her to finish. "But Sharmelle, it's like I've said before, it's been eons. Why tell them now?" "It's all about the pact, Jacqueline. The woman wants to honor the promise she made to her now late husband that their son would never know the truth until one of them passed away." "I know what you've been hired to do, Shar, but like I said, my mom always said sometimes you need to let sleeping dogs lie. It just seems like this is going to cause a lot of trouble for the woman's son and Mr. Pierce, if we ever find him. Rather, when we find him, because I know we will. But Etta Hayes, I can't believe it." "Listen, Jay, I have my reservations about this whole situation as well, but we have been hired to do a job whether we agree with it or not. So let's get to work." Jacqueline could feel the tension leaving her body, and she sighed. "Well then, boss, let's get to work and track down Mr. Marcus Pierce." So that's what they spent the afternoon attempting to do, scouring every site to find someone online. Between the two of them, Sharmelle was convinced there was not a site out there that she and Jacqueline had not searched. They ended up with a few potential leads of men named Marcus Pierce living in the Detroit area, including one who was in his 80s. "Yeah, this would be a lot easier if you had a social media footprint, Mr. Pierce," Jacqueline said aloud to herself, and Sharmelle agreed because she had said the same thing. "I know, at least we'd have a picture of him if he was some old guy." They both looked at each other and laughed. "Okay, Jacqueline, I think we're both mentally exhausted, so let's call it a day. We can bring a fresh set of eyes to this tomorrow." Sharmelle was grateful W2 had extended the dinner invitation earlier in the day. It was the distraction she needed after her workday. W2 was trying out some new recipes and laid out a spread that looked like a Thanksgiving Day banquet. Lennox always had great stories about the Pearl City residents who complained to him daily about out-of-control growth in the city and blamed him as the head of Pearl City planning and zoning. And the twins were always excited to inform her they were big boys now that they were kindergarten graduates and currently ruling the school as first graders. The night was a welcome relief from what Sharmelle now referred to in her mind as OP, Operation Pierce, and she tried not to think about it for the rest of the evening. She finally climbed into bed shortly before 11 o'clock and spent a few minutes admiring the youth group's social media team's work about the day's backpack delivery. They created beautiful posts on all the social media platforms and created some moving videos for the church's website. She sent a group text congratulating the team on their messaging. She was about to shut down everything and hopefully enjoy a restful night of sleep when her phone pinged with a text from Cecilia, Mrs. Lucian Hayes. "Hey, Shar, Lucian told me how great today's event was. Congratulations. And he told me that he mentioned dinner. How does your calendar look for any evening next week?" "Ugh," Sharmelle groaned. "So much for my restful night." And restful it was not, as all the scenarios played out in her head. When she did find Marcus Pierce, because she was confident she would that be the end of their involvement? Would she just tell Mrs. Hayes where he is? Would she expect Sharmelle to break the news to him that he has a son? Who would tell Lucien? Sharmelle still believed that was a secret that perhaps never needed to be told. What would be the harm in Lucien living the next 30 to 40 years of his life, never knowing? How is that bad? She had so many questions. Now it was time to find the man whose appearance might very well lead to the answers.